Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Terima kasih Bapak dan Ibu atas kehadirannya pada acara workshop publikasi karya ilmiah di database IEEE. Kami mengucapkan terima kasih atas partisipasi Bapak dan Ibu yang daftar dan telah hadir pada hari ini. Sedikit berbeda ya dengan poster yang telah kita publikasikan. Di situ kami menuliskan ada Bapak Richard sebagai pembicara, namun ternyata ada 3 orang hari ini yang akan memberikan materi. Namun untuk materi tentang publikasinya ada dengan Bapak Richard. Jadi di depan kita ada Bapak Edward dan Bapak Berry dari IEEE juga yang akan menyampaikan materi tentang produk-produk IEEE terlebih dahulu. Lalu sebelum kita mulai ke acara selanjutnya, dari Perpustakaan akan memberikan sebuah paparan mengenai layanan dan fasilitas dari Perpustakaan secara singkat. Kepada Bapak Fahri kami persilakan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi Bapak dan Ibu sekalian. Nah, saya di sini Fahri Ubin Ashraf sebagai staf pelayanan rujukan di Perpustakaan. Sebenarnya ingin mengingatkan dari Bapak dan Ibu, mungkin ada yang masih ingat, masih fresh, bahwa ini yang biasanya sering ketukar di Perpustakaan. Jadi di Perpustakaan UI itu kita ada 2 jenis akun yang akan kita pakai. Yang pertama akun SSO dari Bapak dan Ibu itu digunakan hanya khusus untuk online database saja. Jadi untuk mengakses online database yang dilanggan sama Perpustakaan, Bapak dan Ibu login menggunakan akun SSO. Kemudian yang kedua adalah akun keanggotaan. Akun keanggotaan itu digunakan untuk mendownload file digital yang ada di websitenya Perpustakaan. Jadi mungkin untuk Bapak dan Ibu yang belum membuat akun keanggotaan, bisa membuat akun keanggotaan di lantai 1 di ruang internet dan digunakan untuk bisa mengakses tesis, disertasi yang membership ataupun untuk mendownload e-books yang ada di websitenya Perpustakaan UI. Kemudian apabila kedepannya Bapak dan Ibu menemukan kesulitan untuk mengakses koleksi Perpustakaan UI atau kedepannya ketika Bapak dan Ibu sekalian melakukan penelusuran, kemudian menemukan kesulitan atau artikel yang ditemukan ternyata tidak masuk dalam paket langganannya Perpustakaan UI, itu Bapak dan Ibu bisa mengirimkan email ke revdesk.lib@ui.ac.id. Nanti akan kami bantu untuk mendapatkan artikel jurnal tersebut. Kemudian kami juga menyediakan layanan pelatihan apabila nanti Bapak dan Ibu membutuhkan penelusuran lebih mendalam lagi tentang strategi-strategi pencarian atau systematical review atau reference manager seperti EndNote, Mendeley, Zotero. Perpustakaan UI siap untuk membantu Bapak dan Ibu memahami reference manager tersebut. Caranya bisa juga via email yang tadi di revdesk.lib@ui.ac.id. Kemudian nanti Bapak dan Ibu bisa berkirim surat ke Perpustakaan yang ditujukan kepada Kepala Perpustakaan. Nanti dari pihak Perpustakaan akan menghubungi Bapak dan Ibu untuk membicarakan tentang pelatihan, bisa di fakultas ataupun bisa di Perpustakaan UI. Mungkin lebih enaknya lagi kalau misalnya Bapak dan Ibu bersama dengan teman-temannya membuat grup, bisa 10-15 orang untuk melakukan pelatihan tersebut. Dari saya cukup sekian. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. MC.
Baik, terima kasih Bapak Fahri atas paparan singkat yang telah diberikan. Untuk selanjutnya kita langsung masuk ke acara, yaitu mengenai e-book collection delivered via the IEEE Explore Digital Library for Mr. Barry and Mr. Edward, please.
Terima kasih. Good morning, everyone. My name is Barry Evans. I represent the IEEE. My colleague Edward is also a representative of the IEEE in charge of training and user group workshops and so on, and client services. My role is a director at IEEE, and I support sales and marketing. And I go around talking to people about the new developments of the IEEE and what we have to offer to current customers and also new customers. University of Indonesia is actually a IEEE Explorer user today. Right, so you already have Explore and you've used it for I think more than 5 years now. In fact, I think UI was one of our first IEEE Explore customers here in Indonesia. We're very proud to be associated with UI. I had the opportunity of meeting Pak Fuad and also even before that Ibu Luki in presenting IEEE for UI. Currently, your subscription is based on IEEE IEL, which allows you access to the codes, standards, the journals, and the conference proceedings. So you have access to codes and standards, journals, and conference proceedings. However, the IEEE has evolved to include other types of content that we believe is relevant to our customers, and they wanted to see a more in-depth availability of third-party content. So IEEE went out and started striking relationships with third-party publishers. So the IEEE Press department worked with 3 or 4 ebook providers, right? And you'll know some of them. The first ebook provider that we work with is with Wiley. Now, Wiley, as you know, is a very, very large ebook provider, right? However, when IEEE and Wiley decided to collaborate, the books that IEEE is selecting together with Wiley, it is only relevant to the field of technology. So Wiley publishes other books, right? They have books for many different areas of study. But the books that IEEE and IEEE co-publish are only relevant to the field of technology, right? And more specifically than that, engineering technology. And a little bit more specifically than that, electrical and electronic engineering, computer science, information technology. Now those are very broad subject areas. They can branch out into many different sub-subject areas. So you have engineering, you have internet, you have information technology, you have computer science, and it breaks down into even more subject areas like robotics, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, and so on and so forth. So today, this slide's a little old, but we have about 800 plus titles in the Wiley IEEE ebook collection. These 800 plus titles between IEEE and Wiley are exclusive to IEEE. You cannot even find it on the Wiley platform because it is co-published by IEEE and Wiley. And Wiley has agreed to use the IEEE Explore platform to deliver these books, these ebooks, to our users worldwide. So you will see these book titles only on IEEE Explore and in no other platform. Okay? We have about 800 plus titles today in 2018, and we have about maybe 20 to 35 titles added every year. So there's a front list of new titles that are added to the Explore platform through the Wiley network every single year. Okay? So you you can get a subscription to you can get a perpetual subscription to the titles, and then every year you can decide to purchase or subscribe to the front list, which will be new titles. So that's on the Wiley. And you guys know about Wiley, right? Have you all heard the publisher Wiley before? Yes? Yeah. Okay. So they've been around for a while. It's started by a company called John Wiley and Sons, and they're a very, very established book provider. The second is MIT Press. Do you guys know who MIT is? It's the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And the Massachusetts Institute of Technology has a division called MIT Press. And MIT Press has collaborated with IEEE to publish books on computing and engineering. So there's a bunch of collections. We've got over 700 titles now with the MIT Press. And actually 70% of those titles are in the field of computing related fields. So again, similar to the partnership with Wiley, IEEE has collaborated with MIT to bring MIT Press books to the industry that we serve. So you will have access to MIT Press books as well, which is very, very highly regarded and very respected in the industry of technology and computer science. As you know, MIT is a world-renowned university, and so the output from that university through the MIT Press division is now available to you on IEEE Explore. Morgan and Claypool. Let's talk about Morgan and Claypool here. So Morgan and Claypool is a relatively new publisher. They're based out of New York, and they were established, I think, in about 2004, right, when they first was formed. So not a very old publisher, quite a new publishing organization. But Morgan and Claypool is a little interesting. They create and develop synthesis. Now, synthesis are a combination of articles and books condensed into one book. Okay? We have now in Morgan and Claypool about 12 collections. And I'll show you the collections and what they are in a minute, right? Well, I'll show you the collections because I'm going to have to move between the slides and a product sheet to show you what those collections are. But Morgan and Claypool is essentially a synthesis. What that means is it's a combination of content from various sources pulled into a book that is not more than 150 pages. So it's a condensed book. It's a summary of many sources condensed into various collections. And I'll tell you what those titles of those collections are in a minute. Okay, but I just want you to understand what a synthesis is. It has become a pretty good tool for researchers, engineers, and students to read about a particular technology quickly. So you don't have to go through 300-400 pages of a book or a textbook to understand a particular technology. You can download a Morgan and Claypool synthesis to get a quick view and a quick understanding of a particular area of technology interest. And I'm going to show you what those collections are in a minute. The fourth IEEE ebook available, and I've not put it in this slide, is from Now Publishers, NOW, right? Now NOW is also a new publisher, and it's similar to Morgan and Claypool. It's made out of communities of people that come from universities and also IEEE volunteers and IEEE technical societies to pull together information on a particular area of technology and condense it into another book that, again, it's not more than 200 to 300 pages. So it's short books on technology. The reason IEEE partnered with Morgan and Claypool and Now Publishers is because we don't have control over time. We're always chasing time, right? And so IEEE thought that, look, engineers are busy, researchers are busy, professors are busy. Why not have a collection of books that are synthesized or summarized into smaller packets that allows the user and the reader to grasp and to get a good understanding of a particular area of technology quickly, right? So that's the reason behind the collaboration between Morgan and Claypool and now publishers. Okay, so we covered 4 books in, so we have 4 items here. We have Wiley, we have MIT Press, we have Morgan and Claypool, and now publishers. So let's take a look at Wiley first. Okay? So as I said, IEEE and John Wiley & Sons have partnered to offer online access to more than 900 ebooks via the IEEE Digital Explorer database. And I want to show you a snapshot of, if you look at the quick facts on the right of the screen. So we have about 6,500 chapters that covers about 900 titles. And there's a backlist all the way back to 1974. And here are the areas of technology that are available through the IEEE Wiley ebook collaboration. Can you guys see the ones on the side here? So we have things on aerospace, bioengineering, all the way up to robotics. And again, these Wiley ebooks are exclusive to IEEE and vice versa. So you'll not find them anywhere else apart from the IEEE Explorer database. Alright, so this is the areas of coverage that we have with the IEEE Wiley collaboration. So basically these are co-published between the 2 organizations. Alright, let's look at MIT. Alright. So IEEE has partnered with the MIT to bring additional high-quality ebooks content in computer science and engineering. And similar to the other collaboration with Wiley, there are about 700 titles covering about 14,000 chapters. And we add about 40 new titles per year. So every year you'll have 40 new titles. As long as the MIT Press and IEEE Press continue to exist, we will continue to develop and create and publish new content every year and try our best to be as relevant to technology as possible. Of course, you know that IEEE is the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. You guys have all used IEEE Explorer before. You know that IEEE is always trying to be relevant to technology. For example, today, we have huge amounts of information on data analytics, big data analytics. We have a lot of information covering cloud computing. Organizations like Facebook, Google are now customers of the IEEE, right? And a lot of volunteers that volunteer their time and their authorship with the IEEE actually work at Facebook and work at Google. So we're trying to be very, very relevant with information and up to speed with what's happening in the industry and technology. And here are the areas of subjects that are covered within the MIT Press and IEEE ebook collection. Right? So we have areas in bioengineering, robotics and control systems, signal processing, and so on and so forth. So again, we try our best to be relevant. And MIT is a wonderful partner for us because they are an important university that develops a lot of new technologies and so on. Right. Morgan and Claypool. Morgan and Claypool, to give you an understanding, we have about close to 900 synthesized books. Okay? And we have a back file all the way to 2006. They're all in PDF, right? And here are the collections. So we have how Morgan and Claypool is organized is by collections, right? So every year we have new collections. So now we're up to about 8 or 9 collections. Next year we'll have about 10 to 11. The following year we'll have 12 to 13, and so on and so forth. You can decide to buy all collections, or you can decide to pick and choose what collections that's most relevant to your universities. And the collections cover, these are the subject areas that the collections cover. So you would be able to find synthesized books that cover these areas of technology. Again, synthesized books are a combination of various sources of information that is condensed into a synthesis collection that we now publish with Morgan and Claypool. And just to give you an idea of who are the people behind these syntheses, they are actually experts from universities, from IEEE volunteers, from IEEE technical societies, and they collaborate to publish these books on the IEEE platform. So when you have access to Morgan and Claypool, you will also, of course, know who the authors are and what their affiliation is and what their experience are. And Edward's actually going to show you a demonstration of how to extract this information from the Explorer database, right? So we don't just give you the book, we make sure that we give you the background of who those authors are and what their experiences are and so on and so forth. Just like any book collection, you can always reach out to these authors yourselves, right? By having their name, understanding where they're affiliated, what universities they're affiliated to, and you can always reach out to these authors and they'll always be happy to hear from you, right? So that's Morgan and Claypool. Let's talk about Now Publishers for a bit. So Now Publishers is a new publisher. It was established in about 2003, I believe, and IEEE has partnered with Now Publishers to bring the Foundations and Trends Technology ebook collection. Right? It's got about 400 plus titles, and it provides short reviews and tutorials of approximately 150 pages in monograph form on important and timely topics. Right? So again, similar to Morgan and Claypool, it is a short book collection that helps the reader or the researcher or the professors learn quickly. Right? And here are a snapshot of if you see on the left, you'll see the engineering collection and computer science collection that are available on the Now Publisher and IEEE platform. Really exciting stuff. I've had an opportunity to look at some of these books, and for me, not being an electrical and electronic engineer, if I wanted to understand something quickly, I would either go to Morgan and Claypool or Now Publishers, because it gives me that fast, efficient way of understanding a particular type of technology quickly. All right. So just to recap, we talked about 4 collaborating publishers that we have now. We have Wiley, MIT, Morgan and Claypool, and Now Publishers. We hope that in the coming future that UI will get access to these ebooks through this IEEE Explorer platform. Okay. So any questions on ebooks before I move on to e-learning? Or you could write the questions down, and then after the demonstration by Edward, we'll open up the floor to Q&A. Okay, now the exciting part, to me, is more exciting because it's more interactive. IEEE educational courses. This is IEEE's e-learning platform. It's been around for a while, but I have to say that we have not done a great job up until now of updating that content. And now, if you fast forward to today, we're paying more emphasis on the IEEE e-learning platform. And what does that mean? We're creating new content, we're improving our learning management system, and we're making it extremely interactive for everybody to use it. So the IEEE e-learning platform follows a discipline called VARK, V-A-R-K, and that stands for Visual, Auditory, Reading, and Kinesthetics, which is hands-on training. So I repeat, we follow a discipline of e-learning called VARK, which is V-A-R-K, which stands for Visual, Auditory, Reading, and Kinesthetics, which is hands-on and tactile learning. So what that means is we have an e-learning platform that you, as users, can interact with. You can see, you can hear, and you can manipulate, which means you can fast forward, you can rewind, you can play, you can pause, you can download, and then at the end of each course, there is a test that you can take, and you can receive an IEEE certificate, an official IEEE certificate, which will go towards the professional development of your area of interest. Right? Again, this test or this certificate of completion with the IEEE e-learning platform is not meant to take away the current exam curriculum that your university has. What it's meant to do is complement your exam environment that you currently have and complement your teaching environment that you already have. Right? We offer hundreds of hours of peer-reviewed, mobile-friendly online courses on the latest technology standards and leadership skills. And we have an innovative learning experience. And we're going to show you a demonstration of what that learning experience is, so you can interact with the learning management system. It's available on IEEE Explore Digital Library, and coming soon is the IEEE Learning Network. The IEEE Learning Network will be a sub-module within Explore, so you will still enter that learning network through Explore, but it will become like Facebook. It'll become very interactive. You will be able to collaborate with other people around the world taking this e-learning course. You'll be able to ask questions, get answers, and so on and so forth. So we want it to be very collaborative and have a social media spin to it. You will also be able to load the learning management system into your own LMS, if you do have an LMS here that you want to load. But I would not recommend to do that now because we are not ready. We're ready, but I would recommend that you use the standard platform first before you start integrating it into your own learning management system, because that's a much larger project. We have about 4 to 5 new programs each year, and about 20 to 25 new courses and hundreds of hours of additional online training available on demand. There's a leased, perpetual, or SCORM files method of subscription. On the left-hand corner, you can't see it right now, but I'm going to explain it to you a little bit later, and Edward's going to show it to you. But we cover many areas of technology, and we are now looking into new areas, right? So we have subject areas that are a little bit older, but we continue to be relevant, as I say, to give you courses that are new and current. For example, artificial intelligence. We have got a new course on artificial intelligence for this year. And here are some of the new courses that we have for 2018. Okay, so we cover things like artificial intelligence, autonomous vehicles, grid modernization in the 21st century. Again, these are all subject areas that are course related. So you'll be able to hear a lecturer, you'll be able to, university professors and teaching assistants and lecturers are using the e-learning platform as a tool to teach. And more so, we're also seeing them use it as a tool to give homework. So at the end of the class, you can download a particular course or a particular chapter, and you can tell the students, hey, go off and complete this chapter, come back and I want to see your quiz results. Right? Now, we don't restrict who can actually take the test. We expect everybody to be honest and to take that test and not cheat. So that I can give my password, username and password to Edward, and Edward can take the test for me. But so how it's authenticated is by username and password of that individual that registers as an account to utilize the IEEE e-learning platform. However, it doesn't stop me from giving my username and password and Edward going in to pretend like me to take the test. What this means is we expect our users around the world to have their own policing in terms of not cheating. Because if you cheat, then it's, you know, then if someone were to question you or your lecturer were to question you on the test that you took in front of everybody else, and if you did cheat, you will just be embarrassed on your own, right? And so we give that authority to you when you're taking the test. We're also seeing lecturers downloading the notes, because you can download the course materials and you can use the notes in your classroom environment. So they're using the notes, printing it out or storing it in your iPads or your computers to refer back later, right? So it becomes not just the quiz allows you to give homework and so on as practice for your students, but you can also download the notes, the course material. You can download the audio. Can you download the audio? Just the notes, right? Okay, so you can download the notes and use it later as teaching material, or use it within the classroom as teaching material. So, the areas of technology that we cover for e-learning are these areas. And this represents hundreds of hours of e-learning, literally hundreds of hours. And it's mobile friendly. So you can listen to these e-learning courses wherever you are, at home, while you're in the car, you know, while you're at the library, you put on your headphones and you just hear, you know, you just listen. The area that is gaining quite a lot of popularity now is this section over here. I've got computing and processing. Areas like cybersecurity is something that is very hot. It's a very hot topic now. And ethical hacking, Internet of Things. My colleague Richard always tells me about this new technology called blockchain. IEEE blockchain. We have a course on IEEE blockchain that I understand it as the underlying technology for Bitcoin, right? But blockchain is a type of technology that's not just used for cryptocurrencies. It's a type of technology that's used for supply chain management, for logistics management, and so on. So IEEE now has a really nice introductory course on blockchain technology, on understanding blockchain technology, which is really hot right now. And that's really exciting because it's very new. Again, these courses are all peer-reviewed, they're validated. A tremendous amount of hours go into developing these courses by our IEEE technical committees and third-party university professors from top universities around the world. So it's very collaborative, right? And you will also be able to contact the lecturer that's giving these courses, because you sometimes can hear, you can always hear, and sometimes there's visual, that you can see the lecturer speaking into a camera, right? So it's really, it's very, we're trying to be as immersive as possible. And once the IEEE Learning Network platform is ready, it will become even more immersive. So it becomes like a social network that all the participants of the e-learning can collaborate with and understand and learn together, right? So these professors that are delivering these courses online, you too can reach out to them, right? Their names and sometimes their contact information is published. If let's say their contact information is not published, all you got to do is Google their name and their name will pop up, and you're welcome to reach out to them and say, hey, I took your course online through the IEEE Explore Network. I'd like to reach out to you to collaborate on maybe some joint lectures, or you have some questions that you want to ask regarding the course, and they're available to you to interact with. Now, what does this mean for IEEE? This means that IEEE wants to humanize its content even more. We don't just want to provide data to our users. Because if we just provided data to our users, we will not understand our users as well. We want to humanize the content that we provide. We want to be more interactive, and we want to stay sticky with you. Meaning that we want to understand how you use the data, what you use the data for, and so on and so forth. So the e-learning becomes a platform for us to help us humanize this content that IEEE has and has developed over many, many years, right? It helps us interact with our users more when you guys utilize these e-learning courses that we provide. So, that comes to the conclusion of an overview of the e-books. So we talked about the 4 publishers within the IEEE Explore platform. We talked about, again, we talked about Wiley, we talked about MIT, Morgan and Claypool, now publishers, and we talked about e-learning. Okay? So instead of opening up the floor to questions and answers right now, I think maybe we'll do the demo, and then after the demo, you're welcome to shoot questions and answers. I see that some of y'all have computers open. Are y'all actually looking at the e-learning courses? Are y'all looking at it? Are you downloading the free stuff? We've got some free stuff. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. We have something called English for Engineering. Oh, this is exciting. It's very important. I didn't show the subject area here, but there's a course from IEEE called English for Engineering. And it's particularly important for jurisdictions and countries that English is not the first language. Right? So we're finding countries that English is not the first language, students, lecturers, professors are downloading these courses, English for Engineering, because it gives you a quick understanding of terminologies in engineering that are English. The other thing that's important to note is the courses that are delivered here on the e-learning platform, they're all delivered in English, right? I mean, we can't run away from the fact that the common knowledge of technology is still English, right? It's not Chinese or Bahasa or French, it's still English. So we provide this capability to all countries all over the world, and it's provided in English. Some of the lecturers have accents, but their accents are usually standard American accents. So you're not going to hear like a country and western accent or a very heavy British Cockney accent. You know, it's pretty easy to understand, right? They don't have heavy accents. So what the e-learning courses actually do as well, apart from English from engineering, is that it allows you to listen. So especially if English is not your first language, and you're listening to these courses, hopefully it'll improve the English as well. Right? Yeah, so that's one of the benefits of it, apart from the technical understanding that you will get from these courses. Anyway, I'll pass over the mic over to Edward. He's going to do the demo on the e-books and e-learning, and we'll open up for question and answers right after. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Hi, good morning. My name is Edward Kennedy. I'm the Senior IT and Client Services Manager. Before I continue, do any one of you want to take a 2-minute break to use the toilet or get yourself some water or coffee? No? I won't take too much of your time. I'm going to apologize to you that I have to sit down because I need to man the computer. So if you have any questions, just raise your hands and I'll answer them. Okay, I'm sure most of you or all of you from UE is familiar with IEEE Explore because you use Explore to download your conferences, your conference proceedings, your magazines, your journals, and your standards. Okay, the same platform delivers your ebooks and your courses as well. Right? So you could do a search directly from here for the ebooks and your e-learning courses, or you could go into the dedicated platform for the ebooks and for the e-learning. Right? For example, I'm going to give you a very, very simple example. When you do a basic search, if you wish to search for every single content within the database, use the all function, this one here. Okay, you can, from here, you can actually direct your search towards a particular item within IEEE, within Explore. For example, you can direct your search towards books, conference, course, journal, standards, authors, and citations. But if you wish to do a universal search for everything, then just select all, and I'm going to do a very simple search now. I'm doing a search for artificial neural network, okay? And I'm going to hit search. So when I hit search on artificial neural network, the fact that I selected all, it's going to pick up everything in Explore related to artificial neural networks. So in this case, you will also get the ebook content that's related to artificial neural networks. You'll get the e-learning content related to artificial neural network. So now, there are 71,000 hits. Before that, just excuse me, I need to sign out from UI's account because UI doesn't have access to ebooks and courses, so I won't be able to show you the access to the courses. So let me sign out from this. Okay, yeah. As you know, UI's access is only for conference, journals, and standards. You don't have access to the ebooks. So I need to use my account to show you what the ebooks and the courses, but you can't see. Okay? But in the future, when you do subscribe to these two modules, then it will be embedded in the same Explore screen. Bear with me, it's still... Okay, great, we are in now. Okay, I'm going to do the search for artificial neural networks again. Okay, so this search is going to return the results for conference proceedings, journals, standards, courses, and ebooks. Of course, I did an all search. So from this, you can see artificial neural network generated 133 ebook content, not 133 ebook titles here, 133 ebook content, okay, and 10 courses related to e-learning on artificial neural network. So this is one way of doing your search. When you're using your Explore, you can directly search and you can get into any of these sections. For example, if it's just courses, then you filter it down to courses and then you apply. So let's filter it down to the books. So I'm going to click books and I'm going to apply this. So which means I eliminate journals, conferences and standards. I'm just concentrating on ebooks. So now, you see, the 133 results for ebooks are from the various publishers. You have from Wiley, you will pick up everything. Okay, if you look here at the publisher, you will see there are 68 from MIT, 50 from IEEE content itself, 12 from Wiley, 2 from Morgan and Claypool, 1 from Now Publishers. Okay, so this way you can access the ebook directly from here. Just an example, I'm going to show you. You can either hit the PDF and download it, or go into the ebook to see what it's all about. Okay, my advice to you as users of Explore, always look at the abstract before you download anything. You know why? The abstract is not just an excerpt, nor is it just a summary. It is actually explaining to you the scope of a particular conference paper, the scope of a journal article, the scope of an ebook. So sometimes, for example, look at this. This title here says neural networks. Alright? Look at the content, neural networks and artificial intelligence. It's nothing to do with what I searched. I searched for artificial neural networks. There may be a link, there may be a supplementary link between these two, but a title does not define your search content. So it's always good to read the abstract to understand the scope of a particular article, the scope of a book, or a course. Okay? And where do you get the scope from? You get it from the abstract. So only once you completed reading the abstract is when you know whether this is the one that you're looking for. Right? So to access an ebook, like look at this. This is an ebook press, ebook chapter. So I can just hit on this, and it would actually take me into the Wiley platform, where I will be able to download the entire article in full text. So the search that I did just now was not a search for an entire book, was a search for an article or a chapter within the book. Because I did a search from the Explore platform itself. Okay? Do you understand? Is that clear? If you have any questions, just raise your hands here. The other method of using the ebooks is by, when you hit on browse, go directly to books. Okay? Okay, when you go directly to books, it comes into this section of the Explore database. So in this section, the first thing that you see on the screen is all 3,446 books. Alright? So this is a combination of everything from MIT, Morgan, Now, and Wiley. So 3, 4, 4, 6 in total. This is the number of books that we have. The best way to browse the books would be to browse it by publisher. Because every publisher will categorize their content by topic. So there is no point in going by topic here. This by topic is the same as the general search, the open search that you did on Explore. It's almost the same. Yeah. So by publisher, you would be able to select the 5 different types of publishers. So we have MIT Press, we have Morgan and Claypool, we have now publishers Wiley Press and Wiley Telecommunications. Wiley Press and Wiley Telecommunications are the same. Only thing, Wiley Telecommunications is specifically dedicated for telco only. Okay? So let me just show you how this platform works. It's a very simple, straightforward platform. So when I hit on MIT, it will take me into the MIT micro page. So it tells me who MIT are, what they do about MIT. It explains what the book does, what they have, and how they present their content. And look at the side here on the left, you will see the topics. So there is no point in you browsing the topics earlier, because you can browse the topics within each publisher. Each publisher will categorize their content by topics as well. So as you can see, in MIT there are 10 books on aerospace, 20 on bioengineering, 60 on communications, 66 on components, 495 on computing. So let me select computing. Okay, I've selected computing. And now, there are 495 titles on computing, and all 495 are displayed here. Okay. The content in the Explore Digital Library starts from 1872 to up to 2019, but that is for the conference, journals, and standards. The e-books, each category of e-book has a date period, and this one starts from 1949 up to 2018. So I selected computing just now, right? I selected computing and processing. So there are 495 books. Once again, click on show details to understand the book, to understand the scope of the book before you hit on the book itself. So this saves you a lot of time, saves you a lot of bandwidth also. So I'm going to click on this raw data. Raw data is an oxymoron. This is a book published by MIT. So that's how it shows you. The book is displayed in like so. Right? You have the copyright year, the author, the publisher, the type of content, and the topic that it is associated with. You have the abstract of the book, and then you have this. Okay, the book, the e-books in the Explore Digital Library is presented to you in this manner. You don't click on one book and then you download the entire book, the entire PDF. Why? It's because this is to help you save time, reduce bandwidth on your download. Because there may be a book that you're interested in, but it may be only 4 or 5 chapters that you want. So why download 400 over pages when you just need 100 pages? So that's why we have segmentized the entire book according to chapters. So you can download each chapter individually. Okay? So all you need to do is just click on the PDF and this particular chapter will be downloaded. For example, this one here, Facts and Facts. Or Paper as Fashion. Okay? So if you click on the PDF, the book gets downloaded. So each chapter also has a scope, has a brief abstract, alright, which you can view the entire abstract by clicking View Full Abstract. So when you click View Full Abstract, this is a chapter in the raw data as an oxymoron book. Okay, so when you go into every chapter, of course the author will always be the same because this is an author of the book. And when you come into the author column, if you wish to see other content by this author, all you need to do is click on the author's name. Okay, you click on the author's name, it will retrieve everything else that this author has done. Not only books, maybe she has presented a conference paper, maybe she has a journal article. Okay, so you can click on the author's name and everything else will be displayed. You also have the metrics of the book, right, to tell you how many times this particular chapter has been downloaded, how many times it has been read, and then you have similar content to that particular chapter. In this case, there's none found, which you will see, because this, now I am viewing the metrics for the chapter, not the entire book. As you can see up here, the book is raw data, is an oxymoron. The content that I'm viewing now is Paper as Fashion. Alright, it's just one of the chapters, not the entire book. And then you have reason books, reason chapters. Okay, so now look at the reasons. On the reason it says these are reason books published by the other 4 publishers. The other 4 publishers, their content is also put under the reason. Okay, and it's also, and it's related to oxymoron, raw data as an oxymoron. Okay? So now, once I'm satisfied with looking at all of this, then I can hit on full text and download that particular chapter. So I hit on back to results, I go back to the results that I was searching on just now. Okay, so this is how an e-book, the e-book microsite presents itself to you. Alright, so whenever you open a book, it's separated into chapters, you select the chapter of interest and then you download the PDF. Not the entire book, not click PDF, the whole book comes down, no. Like I explained to you, because it is to save on bandwidth and it is also to enable you to download area or sections of interest only. Okay? So this is the MIT Press. So let's have a look at the Morgan and Claypool synthesis. As you know, Barry explained to you just now, the Morgan and Claypool is a synthesis of a collection of books. It's not one book, it could be 10 books, it could be 150 books into one synthesis. It's a summary of important cuttings within each book, important articles within each book. It's a summary and it's from different books collected and built by Morgan and Claypool professionals. So that's why it's known as a synthesis. And it's very important. Synthesis is important in research and development because it makes it easier to understand content from various sources. So the Morgan and Claypool is displayed like so. As you can see, synthesis, we have, at this moment, we have nine collections and soon to be 12. And they're all segregated by synthesis. For example, synthesis on materials engineering, synthesis on information concepts. I'm going to click on synthesis of imaging. Okay. So you see, same thing, same method. There are 19 results on the synthesis of lectures on image, video, and multimedia processing. Okay, so these are all the contents within this synthesis. The synthesis that we clicked on just now. Alright, this is the content. Same thing, each section has a abstract, has a scope, and then you can hit on the PDF to download it, and if you hit on the title, you will get the matrix, you'll get the metrics of the article itself, right? You can see the authors. Of course, the authors will be a combination because this is a synthesis. As I said, it's not just one book, it's a synthesis combination of several books, right? Several books content have been picked up and built into one synthesis. In this case, synthesis of remote sensing and image processing. Alright? So you have the metrics to tell you how many times this synthesis has been downloaded. It is useful for a lot of researchers that I've worked with. Some of them, they use this as a benchmark on the content that they are actually referring to see how effective the content is. You also have keywords. Okay, these are author keywords which are presented in your conference, your journals, your standards. Also, you have this. The ebooks also has the author keywords which you can use these keywords to do further searching. See, rather than searching aimlessly, sometimes we know our first search, we know, for example, I search for artificial neural networks, but I do not know what are the related searches that I can use. So I might use keywords which are aimless. So this author keywords will help me to continue my search within the same area, but broadening it. So this is from Morgan and Claypool. The Morgan and Claypool is the same method. If you hit on the full text as PDF, you download the PDF. As we know, ebooks, there are no HTML content for ebooks because ebooks are static content. And the only way that it can be presented to you is via PDF because PDF is a static content. Okay? Any questions so far? Are you getting me? Am I going too fast? Am I boring you? No? Yes? Okay, I am boring you. Okay, thank you. Alright, now, So Morgan and Claypool synthesis, collection of several books. Always remember that, yeah, it's not a book. It's a collection of several books into one synthesis. Okay? Now, the next thing would be now publishers. Now publishers is same as Morgan Claypool. They're also a synthesis, a collection, a summarized version of a collection of books. They are still new, so hence you will see the numbers here are not as big as what you see on Morgan and Claypool. So they have bioengineering, aerospace, computing and processing. So if you notice, in all these e-books, the computing and processing is the largest content because there's so much to cover. Okay, for now publishing, slightly different. The presentation of the content is slightly different. Okay, now these are all the book titles. So if I were to click on a book title, for example this one. Okay, for now publishing, you download the whole book. Okay, the moment you click on the title, you come into this screen, you hit full text PDF, it's the whole book. It doesn't break down into sections. You know why? Because it's not very big. It's to the most 200 pages. So it gives you the entire synthesis. It gives you the entire summary of the book itself. Alright? So for now publishing, slightly different. But the MIT, the Morgan, and the Wiley, they are the same. You download the book by chapter. You download the book by sections and not the entire book. Okay? Okay, now, the last part, which is the Wiley, is the same thing, presented the same way, different publisher. They have much more content, engineered materials, dielectrics and plasmas, 44 books. Okay, there are 44 books here. Same thing, same concept. Okay, there's one thing that I want to highlight to you. At the bottom of the screen of every publisher, you will see their most recently published books, right at the end. Every publisher, Morgan, MIT, Wiley, now, when you go right to the bottom, you will see this piece here. This piece represents the most recently published books. So of course this is not going to change every day. You will not see recently published every day different books, alright, because books are not published every day. So only when there is a new book that has been published digitally on the platform is what you will see in this column. The most recently published column shows you the new books that have been updated within that discipline, that category. Okay? So, before I move out of ebooks, any question? Anything that you are not sure of, anything that you want to know more about the ebooks? Okay, you can also do a keyword search throughout the entire ebook library here. Okay, for example, you can type in sensor network here. When you type in sensor network here, it's going to show you all the books related to sensor network from all the publishers. Okay, now there are 22 on sensor network. You can check on the publisher. 9 Wiley, 1 Morgan, 1 Now, and 11 IEEE. Okay, IEEE content itself. So, now, this is not what you will see all the time, because it also depends on what you subscribe to. So, you will only see this if you are going to subscribe to all 5 areas. If you subscribe to MIT, Morgan, Now, and Wiley, then you will see this screen. If not, if you only subscribe to Morgan, then you will only see Morgan. If you only subscribe to MIT, then you will only see MIT. Okay? So this is not something that you're going to see all the time when you based on what your subscription is all about. then you will get to see the publishers. Depending on which publisher you subscribe to, that's the publisher will be displayed to you. Alright? Okay, are we good? We good with ebooks? Yes? No? Alright, now let's move to the courses. Courses is an e-learning. As you know, they run on our background LMS, Learning Management System. These courses can be integrated into your LMS as well, but it takes a little bit more customizing because all our content is COM compliant. As long as your learning management system is COM compliant, you can attach our learning management system to your LMS as well, our content to your LMS. Alright? Now, for students, this e-learning course is a complement, is a supplementary item to what you learn in your lectures, in your lecture halls. It is not going to replace your lectures. It is not going to replace the job of your lecturer. It complements what your lecturer has already explained to you in the lecture hall. For lecturers, it is going to assist you by complementing and providing a supplementary item for your students to what you have already related to them, to what you have already given them. So the word replacement is never in this area. It's never in the course. It's not replacing anything. It's not replacing the job of a lecturer. It's not replacing the job of a student from sitting in class and listening to what his lecturer has to say. It complements, okay? It helps you understand better as a student. It helps you add more coursework as a lecturer for your students. That's what this e-learning is all about. That's what this e-learning is used for. Alright? In universities, lecturers use this platform for that purpose, not to replace, but to complement. Alright? Okay, at the moment you open your e-learning microsite, you will see the latest course programs displayed out here. These are new ones. These are all new ones, new courses that have been added. We add new courses every now and then. The categories of courses are at the bottom here. This is the screen that was on Barry's PowerPoint earlier, which you couldn't see. So it covers aerospace, bioengineering, communications, components, fields and waves, English for engineering. This is one part of a course. The English for engineering is a platform on its own. It runs on it's actually a module on its own. It's a collection of courses on English. It actually teaches you English that is used in the engineering world. Terms, terminologies of proper ways of using this English, and using these words in a proper sentence in the engineering world. So it's an English tutor. English for engineering is an English tutor. Okay? All the others are, of course, all these courses are developed and presented by experts in the field. Some of them are scientists, some of them are professionals in that field itself. Okay. So I'm going to select one of the categories. Before you can run English for engineering, wherever that you're running it from, your laptop or your desktop or from a server, it has to be Flash, Adobe Flash enabled. Because if you do not have Flash, you can't run. Because this course is video assisted, voice over course, is animated, so it needs to have the Adobe Flash installed on the laptop. If it's not installed, then it cannot run. Okay? So now I selected the category of communication, network and broadcasting. Under the category communication, network and broadcasting, there are 48 courses. Alright, 48 courses. And the 48 courses comprised of 3 different levels: introductory, intermediate and advanced. Okay? So you can do any of these courses at your pace. Each course is 1 hour. The duration of the course is 1 hour. You can take your time to do it. You can do 5 minutes, stop, go for lunch, come back, continue with the 5 minutes. You can take 10 hours to do it, but the course itself is 1 hour. Alright? You can do the course as many times as you want. You can repeat the lectures as many times as you want. You can repeat the tutorials as many times as you want. But you can do the tests as many times as you want. But you can only download the certificate of completion once. Okay? Because it will be pointless if you can download 365 completion courses, certificates. It will be pointless, right? So you can go through the course, understand the tutorial, understand the content as much as you want, but the certificate of completion can only be downloaded once. And your quiz results must be above 70%. Anything below 70, you can't download the certificate. The system will prohibit you from downloading the certificate. So you have to pass the test. And the integrity of doing this lies within yourself. Like what Barry said earlier, you can ask everybody, whoever's to do your test for you, but that integrity lies within yourself. Okay? So I'm going to give you an example of how the course looks like and how it works. It's a very, very simple platform. It's just click and listen. That's all. And answer questions. Only these three things. Click, select the course, listen, and answer. That's it. So now I'm going to select this one. It's an introductory course, 3G wireless system. Like I said, every course designed and developed by experts within the field. So all these people, for example, down here, you will see who developed this course and who is the instructor. There you go. This guy here is an expert in the field of 3G wireless. So he designed this course, he is presenting this course, he designed the lecture notes. Okay? So you can download the lecture notes here before you start the course. You can click on course notes. You can download the PDF version and then you can follow the course. So the course is self-explanatory, it runs on its own. So the first thing you would do would be to access the course. Alright, so when you click on access course, now is when the system checks for your operating system. You see that? Click to enable Adobe Flash Player. You must enable it. If you don't enable it, the course will not run. Okay? So once I've clicked this, I allow it. Your IT may block this from running. If you're using a internal network, IT may block it, but you can inform them it is okay. It's safe. We guarantee that. This flash is not going to welcome other malware. It's only running directly from our port. So you can explain that to your IT department and say this is fine. For IEEE, please release it. Yeah. Because yes, flash a lot of malware comes in through the flash. Yeah, so just tell IT it's okay. If they block it. If they don't block it, okay, fine, no problem. Okay, now the course will start loading. It's voice assisted, alright? So let me show you how the TOC looks like, how the sequence of the course works, and what you do at the end. Very simple, very straightforward. It's not rocket science. You don't need to crack your head to run the course. It's very, very simple. The only thing is you will need good bandwidth. By the way, this course can run on mobile networks as well. You can run it on your normal phone hotspot. It will load. It's very good. It doesn't take up much speed. Doesn't take up much of your data. So the course is already running. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You see here. Slide 1 of 108, it's already running. I can pause it. Alright, I can pause the course. I can continue. And I'm going to move to this 3G technology state, item number 4, which has more content. So you don't need to listen to the introductory, you don't need to go through, you can skip anything that you want anytime that you want. Yeah? So assuming I go to 3G wireless communication spectrum, because I want to go straight to the point, I do not want to listen to the introductory. But of course it is advisable to start from slide 1 right up to slide 108 in order to be able to answer the questions at the end. Like I said, because this is a complement to what you have already heard in your lecture halls, so there may be sections that you have already understood, that your lecturer has explained to you, then by all means jump. By all means jump to the next section, alright? So let's jump to 3G wireless communication spectrum. I don't know where the sound is coming from. I'm trying to put the mic near the speaker so that you can hear it, but I don't know where the speaker is on this.
But it's playing.
But it's playing, yeah.
Referred to as IMT 8000 core
see the instructor is guiding you section by section as it is exactly what you would hear in a lecture hall. Okay? The instructor is explaining it to you, guiding you, and if you download the course material, the course notes before you activate the course, you can actually follow it on hard copy as well. So all what he is explaining on this course is on hard copy. You can't download the video. The video you can replay again and again, but you can't download. But you can download the hard copy of the course notes. Okay, the course notes you can download. So as the course carries on, as you can hear, the instructor is explaining to you. It's a very slow pace, so you can pause it, digest it, then play it again, pause, play. So you can this course. You can run this course. You can run this course at your own pace. You don't need to follow the videos 10 minutes or 20 minutes. At your own pace, you can keep repeating it again and again and again. Okay? So now, at the end, for example, of this course is 108 slides. At the end here, you will see the quiz. Okay? The quiz is the important part. You have to finish this, you have to complete both the quizzes, if not you can't download the completion certificate. So if you don't complete the quiz, if you do not want the certificate, then don't do the quiz. Okay? If you don't want the certificate, then you just go through the course and up to you. But if you want a completion certificate on this particular course, you must complete the quiz. If you don't complete it, you will not be able to download it. So let's go into the quiz. Like now, I'm jumping from slide 4 right down straight to the quiz. So obviously, I'm going to answer all the questions wrongly because I haven't gone through anything yet. Okay, so the quiz is loading. Here you go. This is the first question. So all you need to do is multiple choice question. So you can answer the questions. I'm just going to answer it quickly. Then I hit on next. And the next question comes out. I answer the question. Then I go to next. Then at the end of all this, it will give you the course completion. So the course completion will tell you how you did. Whether you passed, you failed, where were your mistakes. Okay? Like I said, this quiz, you can run it as many times as you want. Okay? But the completion, certificate of completion will be only counted for the first time that you run the quiz. So after the first time you fail, you go and do the second time, you pass, good for you, but no certificate. Okay? The certificate only counts for the first time. The first time you do the quiz, you complete, pass or fail, you can download the completion certificate on. But the second time cannot already. You can do the quiz second time, third time, fourth time, you can do. But if you do not download the certificate at the first attempt, even though you pass, and maybe you got 70%, you get a little bit avaricious, you want to do 90, so you do the second time, sorry, you rookie the cert already. You cannot download it. Okay? Okay. Alright, so clear? Clear? Okay, the e-learning course is very, very simple. It runs easily. The only requirement will be Adobe Flash. If you have the Adobe Flash, you're fine, you're good. And the entire course is based on self-integrity. Any questions on the e-learning? Okay, not every course program will have all the levels. For example, let's just, if I select bioengineering, under bioengineering, I have 22 courses. Okay? So some courses, there may only be introductory and intermediate, no advanced. So some courses, there may only be introductory. The new courses, the very, very, very new courses, usually only introductory. Then the slightly older ones, then you have intermediate, because it is developed in stages. It's not one course developed, introductory, intermediate, and advanced, no. The instructor, the designer of this course material goes section by section. He does an introductory course first, then he adds the intermediate, then he adds the advanced. That's how it goes for new courses. Like this course, this one here, the primer on cluster, this is introductory, so let me select advanced. So if I select the advanced, it's going to give me all the advanced courses for bioengineering. See, there's only 2. But earlier there were 22 because they are 22 introductory, the 22, 10 are introductory, the balance is intermediate, and only 2 are advanced courses. So the advanced courses, of course, will be a little bit more difficult. It will need a little bit more concentration before you can complete it. Alright? So in this part here for bioengineering, you will see the featured topics for bioengineering would be computational intelligence and biometrics. So this is something that the system intelligently recommends for you. So once again, the e-learning also does not mean you subscribe to e-learning unless you subscribe to the entire e-learning, then you get all the categories. Or if not, you're only subscribing to categories of interest only. So if you subscribe to the entire e-learning platform, then you have all the categories that you saw just now, all these categories here. But if you OE doesn't subscribe to all, it only subscribes to certain categories, then you can only access those certain categories of what you have subscribed to. Alright? Okay, I'm done with the e-learning platform. So, do you have any questions on e-books or e-learning for me or for Barry? Yes, madam. Okay. Richard, you want to answer that?
Of course it is. It's my IEEE.
There you go, Pak Barry has answered your questions. Okay, first of all, I think as what Edward or Pak Barry mentioned, right, this e-learning course is not meant to replace your day-to-day courses. It's meant for a supplementary. So if you ask me useful or not, it really depends on how you see it. The certificate is just a certificate completion, that you have completed this and this is your score. But if you want to use it to go to your professor and claim credit, I don't think you can do so. Okay? But this is for your achievement. If you think, if you have gone through the course and you complete it, it's just an achievement. Yeah? So it's not meant for replacing your day-to-day courses. Right? You should see this as a supplementary materials to help you to understand the concept in different way. Yeah? Apart from your day-to-day interaction with the lecturers. Since this is another way of doing it. Alright? Is this my turn to talk? Yes. Okay, I need a couple minutes to set it up, to move to that table and to plug in my connector.
Dan defisitnya juga sebenarnya nggak gede-gede amat ya Bu ya. Mohon maaf juga saya meleset. Itu ya Bu ya, nggak apa-apa ya Bu ya.
Okay. We can start. Terima kasih Bapak-Bapak dan Ibu-Ibu atas kedatangannya. My name is Richard Chandra. I am Indonesian. Live in Singapore for almost 20 years now. I'll try to present in Bahasa if I still can remember my Bahasa. But if you don't mind, I maybe sedikit campur-campur. Because some of the bahasa nowadays, the word, right, is sounds a bit foreign to me. Because some of the new word that I have not been exposed to. So yeah, I'll try to speak bahasa as much as possible. If not, then forgive me if I use English language. Okay. Alright, so today, these are the agenda. We will talk a little bit about IEEE and the 4th Industrial Revolution, and touch a little bit on hal-hal yang baru di dalam IEEE Explore, and also we'll talk about research tools for authors. Now, will be something that you may find it interesting and useful for you. Hari ini kita akan membahas 4 tools, which is ORCID ID, IEEE Collaboratech, CodeOcean, and Authors Center. All these tools are good news for you today. All these tools are free, gratis. Jadi kita ngomong yang gratis-gratis aja today. Alright, setuju? Cool. And last but not least, we'll touch a little bit on open access. This one is primarily for the researchers at our library to consider what kind of open access program that we have. I think my colleague has covered a little bit about IEEE. Basically, we are not for-profit organization, and our slogan or our vision is advancing technology for humanities. Yeah, and currently we have more than 420,000 members around the world. And I believe Indonesia also have a chapter or has a local member. And our members are primarily academia as well as industrial practitioners. Core areas, activities, membership, conference organizer, journals, publishers, standard developers. Now, standard is very important. Yeah, I think Pak Barry has also mentioned this. Talk about the standards, right? The Wi-Fi that we use is actually by IEEE, and the 4G network as well. The upcoming 5G is also by IEEE. Alright? So a little bit about 4th Industrial Revolution. Who have heard about 4th Industrial Revolution? Just show of hands. Siapa yang pernah mendengar istilah 4th Industrial Revolution atau Industri Revolusi keempat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and I can skip this. I don't have to talk about it. Okay, as we all know, 4th Industrial Revolution talking about a lot of automation. All right, but the underlying message here is that a lot of jobs that you see today may disappear in the next 20 years' time. Example, the person that's talking to you in front of you now. I may not have a job in the next 20 years. This person may be artificial intelligence in the next 20 years. Maybe a robot talking to you. Maybe a robot will conducting a workshop, something like this. There's some article that I read, they're exploring to use robot for teaching primary schools. Yeah. So because they designed this artificial intelligence to capture the motion and the emotion from the children, so they will know. Now, it's not far-fetched, by the way. In China, yeah. Now, a lot of school or university, they're using what? Facial recognition in their classroom and all over their campus. So there will be a lot of cameras and sensors everywhere. They will capture the facial recognition. Facial recognition for what? One, for identity. So they know that you are there or not. Nggak bisa bolos ya. Now you masih bisa bolos ya, bisa tanda tangan, suruh teman tanda tangan. That's what I did last time, by the way, when I was a student. Asked my friend to sign attendance. But now you can't. Yeah? They will capture your face, and then not only for attendance, but it's also for to see your reaction. Example, in this kind of classroom, imagine we have a camera, that camera, pointing towards you, and it will start capturing your facial changes. You smile, you frown, or you laugh, or you like that, look confused. It will capture, and all this data will be tabulated, and you say, okay. this person looks like don't understand what you're talking about. That person understand what you're talking about. Or this person is sleepy, you know. So they use that already to analyze the participation. So soon, you know, use the same technology into a robot or use it as part of the artificial intelligence, it can happen. Yeah. Now, so fourth industrial revolution that basically talking about disruptive technology and trends is include IoT, Internet of Things, robotics, VR, artificial intelligence. Yeah. IoT is very interesting, right? Can you imagine that your phone talking to your fridge talking to your microwave talking to your AC, aircon, and your aircon talking to I don't know what. Yeah? They all talk to each other, yeah? without you knowing it actually, and they're capturing a lot of data. Just to show you where is IEEE in this fourth industrial revolution. Are we in it, or are we behind, or are we leading it? Yeah, I think we are leading it. Now this is just a proof to you that IEEE research publication, yeah, in this technologies that fueling the fourth industrial revolution. The numbers that you see there, 15,000, 30,000, 150,000, 600,000, it's the numbers of research articles that being cited from IEEE publication. So in terms of, say, IoT, we have more than 20,000 articles have been published or cited for this alone. So you can see the number, share of numbers of research and involvement that IEEE fellow members and the contributors in this fourth industrial revolution. Now, still talking about the IEEE quality, patent, patent citation, we have three times more than any other publishers that have been cited. When you're talking about patent is the ultimate conclusion of your innovation, right? So once you do the research, you have the innovation, then you patent it. Why patent is important? Anybody know? Why patent is important? Yeah? Correct. It's for protection. But another use of patent is what? Commercialization. Money. Money for the institution. Money for the research that the organization that's funding you. Right? For technology transfer. Now, some of you may heard about the famous patent fight between Samsung and who? Apple. Who wins? Do you know who wins? Who wins that? Samsung or Apple? Siapa yang menang? Samsung, yes. Sorry, I don't have a prize for you here. But you're right. Samsung won the long-standing patent fight with Apple. It runs for 10 years. 10 years. Yeah. And do you know how much Apple have to pay Samsung? 20 million? No, too small. $1 billion. Yeah. That's the amount that Samsung has to pay. Apple have to pay to Samsung. But never mind. Apple very rich. Yeah? 1 billion nothing. Okay, but that's to show you how important patent is, right? The gentleman over there say it's for protection and it's also for commercialization. So one is very, very important. Look at the statistic there. IEEE citation received the most for the patent filing. Yeah, so it's very, very highly acclaimed. Now, these are the technology areas where IEEE cited the most. Yeah, as you can see, cloud computing. Who's from com science here? Computer engineering. Anybody? No? Okay, then we can talk about them then. No, joking. So, com science like computer and cloud computing, computer hardware, machine learning. These are for com science people. Information storage for informatika. Yeah, jurusan informatika. Of course, medical devices. Talking about the tools for medical robotic surgery and all that. Power system and smart grid. Now, this is another interesting area. Give you another question, another quiz. Yeah? In Indonesia, how many power supply company do you know? One. Siapa itu? PLN, yes. I know because my friend worked in PLN. And do you know Singapore, our neighbor, very small country, little red dot in the blue ocean. How many power companies we have or we will have soon? Power supply company, semacam PLN. You guess? Any guess? Any numbers? 3, 4, 5? 10? Too little. 12. Surprise, surprise. I surprised myself. So 2 days ago or 3 days ago, the government just announced that they opened up the energy market. So it used to be only one, semacam PLN. So now they open up to more. So people like me, my house, so I can choose from 12 different operators or different suppliers. Maybe some give this, some give that, some get that. Now how they achieve that is through what they call the smart grid system. See, right there. So this is the application of the smart grid or power distribution network. So smart grid is smart grid. If you Google, right, you can see this is to maximize, how the power distribution and the power source. No longer just from one source, whether from coal or from natural gas. That's the normal way, right? But it could be from sun, the power supply, from the power, solar power. It also can wave. If you have a big ocean, it also can from wind. So all this energy are now being distributed smartly. Reading in the past or currently is still manual reading. That means there's a meter outside your room, outside your house, right? And orang dari PLN or from a power company will come and dicatat what is the reading. Now in the future, there's no longer the case. Everything is connected. Everything will be digital kind of a system. Yeah, that's part of the smart grid. Now, needless to say, robotics, semicon, and telecommunication as well. Yeah, all those are very, very cutting edge. So these are again a quality statement for IEEE, and this report is not from our company, but it's from Clarivate Analytic Journal Citation Report. Who knows Clarivate? Anybody know Clarivate? Yes, correct. Formerly from Thomson Reuters. Yeah. So Thomson Reuters owned this division called Thomson Science, and they actually sold it off, and now this company independent called Clarivate. So they track and index journal publications, and as well as their performance in terms of impact factors. Yeah. So this report just released in June 2018. It says 23 out of 24 journals in EE or electrical engineering IEEE publication, and then 19 out of 20 in telecommunication, and 5 out of 5 in information science, and 4 out of 5 in home science. So you can see the quality of IEEE publication. Now, IEEE may not have the most journal publication in the world. We are very small, basically. We only have about 185 titles in our collection. Very small compared to, say, people like Elsevier, who has probably 2,005. Wiley maybe have 1,005, 1,600. So we are very small. However, in terms of technology and engineering, we are one of the top quality. Yeah, and we publish 30% of journals that related to technology in the world. 30% is from IEEE, despite very small number. Yeah. So these are some journals that published in 2018. So things like IoT, control system, sensors, and these are the titles that are coming out in 2019. So Universitas Indonesia is a subscribers of our IEEE, so you can look forward to these journals in the next few months. Yeah? Now, talking about conferences, why is it important to attend a conferences of scientific or engineering conferences? Why is it important? Because they have a very nice lunch and buffet and coffee. No, not. I mean, conferences is a genesis of a research publication, right? This is a place where if you have idea and you want to tell the world, all right? I have this idea, I have this brilliant idea, and I want to submit my papers or my white papers or my idea, or I want to share with my fellow researcher. This is a place where you will do that. And during conference in IEEE case, there will be a standard conference as well. So people in the industry will come together and they will discuss about the standards. What's the next standard for telecommunication? What's the next standard for wireless technology? So this kind of conferences is important. Yeah, and look at the numbers. IEEE runs 1,800 conferences around the world every year. So none of us can attend all the conferences. Agree? Yeah, you may attend some, but you cannot attend all. So then we publish, to help people to reach out to all this information, we publish the conference proceedings. So you can find the conference proceeding in our Explore, which you already have access to it. So every single paper, every single document that we publish, poster presentation of all these 1,800 conferences, will be available through our Explore. Isn't it cool? Yeah? So as if you attend a conference yourself, but without being physically there. So this is how it is. And we continue to bring new and the latest conferences to our audience. Yeah? Smart grid metrology. There's another conference that will coming up. Right. So in a nutshell, we have 11 new titles, journals in 2018 and 19 coming, and new conferences. The number is a bit wrong there. It's supposed to be 1,800. Yeah. Now, next I'm going to share some of the tools that will be useful for you if you are in the research or you're doing a research. How many of you has published any Makala, Ilmiah, or journal publication? Have you published any? Yes? One? Only one? Okay, so what are you doing then? Okay, so I take it as are you a postgraduate or PhD student? Yes? No? Yes, okay, of course, yes. Otherwise, why you want to be here, right? So, research publications start from to have a very good and legitimate access to a good content. Yeah? Without that, you cannot do any research. You cannot do any citation. Agree? Yeah? So start from search, the database. So here, I think Edward has shown it to you very easy, very fast to do your search. This is what we call the literature, systematic literature search. Yeah? So you can do your search and you can find the right content for you. Yeah? Of course, all that, the search engine will make it as simple as possible. We know that everybody uses Google for everything. Yeah, so we try to make it easy for you, so you can see only one bar. Yeah. Now, the other one that's very important when you start to publish is to have your identity. Who knows about ORCID ID? Anyone? Yes? One? Cool. So, ma'am, correct me if I'm wrong, yeah? I just try to describe what is ORCID ID. ORCID ID is like your KTP nasional. It's like your ID for researcher, right? So one person, one researcher, one ID, one number. Correct, ma'am? Yeah, in the simplest term. So whenever you publish something, when you write something, you need to put this ID into your publication. Straight away, people know who you are. You are this, who you are affiliated to, maybe Universitas Indonesia, example, from which faculty, and what areas, subject area you are in. So very important, because there are many other names that are similar to you, like me, Richard. There are many millions of Richard out there. Which Richard? Yang mana? UI. There's other UI as well out there. UI can stand for a lot of things. University of Illinois, University of India is also UI, right? So it's very important to make sure that it's your publication, and it's easier for the index company like Scopus, Web of Science to know about you. Yeah. So any citation, any publication, it will be indexed by those organizations, and ORCID ID is very important. So 3 things, to ensure your work is discoverable and connected to them throughout your career. So you only need one ID for the rest of your life. Yeah. You do not need to have multiple, and it's free. It's a not-for-profit organization as well that they run this. Right? So this is the first step for you to become a researcher. Yes. No issue, because ORCID ID no change. It will be recorded now that you're affiliated to the new institutions. Yeah. Alright? But your paper that you published in a previous institution is still remain the same. So the credit will given in due. Alright? So no change. Of course, you need to update your information if you are moving to a new institution. Yeah. Okay. Now, another tools that I would like to introduce is IEEE Collaboratech. You can Google it now. IEEE Collaboratech. So it's integrated online community. Now, one of the challenges for the young researchers or early career researchers is that they do not have a network. Agree? Yeah, you do not know a lot of people. Yeah. Especially if your area is a very niche area, very niche research kind of area. So one of the ways is, we will connect you with like-minded people and also with fellow IEEE members. And it's free. You can just sign up right now. You may have your professor who guide you in doing your PhD or doing your research, but professors is also very limited time. And sometimes you need more mentors, not just only one. Yeah. So this is one way to connect with the people that subject matter expert in the area. There will be IEEE members. You can send a message. You can talk to them. You can create your own group. So this is how it looks like. You can create your own community. You can share your ideas and knowledge, and you also can find a job posting there. They also have a career posting. Maybe you want to become a research assistant. Yeah? There are many opportunities there. So this is a very good platform for all of us, to connect to each other. Now, another tools is a code ocean. Now, a lot of you, when you do your research, you need to run some data set, right? You need to do some analysis, whether using software or using mathematical kind of software. So, or programming rather. So this site is free, so you can go up there and then you can actually run the simulation yourself, and you can actually input your own factors into it as well. Yeah. Or manipulate the data. So it's integrated within our Explore. So this is how it looks like. So if you go up there, and you can see this logo, that means these journal articles will have a data set and also we have a coding. So you can actually click on it and you open up something like this. Something like this. So this is the MATLAB application for you to do your coding. Yeah? So this is another free tools that you already can use. Yeah? Another thing that useful for you will be the Author Center, IEEE Author Center. So just go up to IEEE Author Center, you can find things like IEEE Publication Policy and Ethics, authoring tools, template guidelines, submission, review, copyright, publishing agreement, and after publishing follow-ups. Now, these are very important information because as a young researcher or early career researchers, there are many things that we do not know, or many things that we need a guidance. And rejection is part of your life, believe me. So prepare yourself mentally. So if when your first submission and you get a rejection is actually a good thing. Yeah? Or some of you laugh at it. I know it's hard on you, but it's part of the research life cycle. So a good reviewer, they will give you a lot of comment. Yeah? They will tell you what you have done, and all that. And get a mentor that can help you to go through this, especially people that has published. So you have one person here already have published, so you can go to her and ask her, what is the experience and what kind of journal. Now things like, example like choosing the right journal publication, whether high impact factors, whether have impact factors at all, how long the journals have been around and all that. Now also watch out for like very easy kind of offer. Have you come across like maybe somebody email you say that, hey, I noticed you on LinkedIn, you PhD student at University of Indonesia, you're doing research in this area, here I can help you to publish your journals or your papers. Give me $500 and I can publish for you in 2 weeks. Have you come across this kind of email? No? Yeah, but there are such things. Yeah? So be careful on this kind of emails that will come to you. These are usually the bogus journals or predatory journals, we call it. So they no quality or very, very low quality, and they will ask money from you. Usually publishers don't ask money. Okay, publishers do not ask money from the researcher. We have another thing called open access, but it's a two different ballgame. Yeah? Normal publication, normal journal publication, publishers never ask for money first. Give me the money for me to process your journal. No such thing. Yeah. So be clear on that. So here at this author center, it will help you to understand, like, because we have what over there? We have this publishing agreement. So you can know what is your rights, what you get, what's your obligation, what your rights, what the publisher have to do with, what the publisher will do for you, and the copyright as well. Yeah? So a lot of things that you can learn from here, and even the review process, peer review is also one of the important steps. Yeah. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Alright, this is how it looks like, the author portal or author centers. Yeah? And there's also template on. Template and the format is also quite important. Yeah? Some journals, they very strict in terms of their template and the software that you use to submit to them. So it's very, very important to follow their template and the format. Another thing that you need to look out for is their journal scope. Yeah, the scope is also very key because some highly niche journals, they're very strict in terms of their scope. So that when you submit your executive summary to them, make sure that you hit all those points in terms of the journal scope. Otherwise, you will get rejected, very fast. Now, just now I'm talking about a little bit on open access. Yeah. So IEEE also supports an open access movement. Yeah. And these are the benefit, of the open access. So increased visibility, increased citations, drive innovation, global impact, and public access and comply with funders policy. Now, the last one I think is quite critical because usually open access are being funded by organization, yeah. Or you apply for a grant, you apply for a fund, you got it, and then you need to publish it as an open access kind of publication, yeah. So why did we introduce open access? Again, go back to our mission, right? Advancing technology for humanities, and we are not for-profit organization. That's why we are in the support of open access. Also, IEEE members and authors has demand for open access options, and institutions who is our customer also express demand for open access program. That's why we respond to it. And this is just an illustration of our APC. APC is article processing charge. So this is a cost that you need to pay to a publisher for them to process your articles. Yeah? Not to pay them to publish. Yeah? It's very subtle different in terms of paying to publish and paying to process your articles. Yeah? Now, IEEE is here, somewhere around here. We are one of the lowest in the industry and compared to other publishers. And this is an example of institutional partners that we have currently for open access. Even Google, and they're very active in terms of research as well. We have three models. Number one is a hybrid, open access hybrid. Hybrid means your articles will be published in a normal journal publication, but as an open access. Yeah? The journal itself is a paid journal, it's not open access, but there are some articles that we publish as open access. In what, area? Example, like if we have special editions, or we have, special topics that we want to discuss, and we invite open access authors to come in. The other one is a topical, yeah? Example, again, we have the special editions, yeah, or some of the subject that we want to have it as open access, or society demanding for open access. That's a possible way. The last one is full open access. So entire journal is open access based, yeah, funded by the third party or funded by the authors themselves. And IEEE Access is a full open access, multidisciplinary, and this one you can access it right now. Yeah. So these are the numbers of titles that we publish as a full open access journals. Example like Electron, Device Society, Photonic Society, Solid State, and Engineering in Health and Medicine. So these are the, if you Google now, go to IEEE Explore, you can find these journals, and you can download the articles. Yeah. How to identify whether this is open access and non-open access? If you see the padlock, if you go to the articles, if the padlock gembok, ya, gambar gemboknya kalau terbuka, that means you can access and it's open access, right? But if you see the padlock is locked, that means it's paid articles. And if you want to access, it's good, you have to go through your library portal in order to access that. Now, a little bit just for institutions. Yeah, so we have two models that we offer to institutions. One is deposit account. That means you park some of money with IEEE, and we will use that to deduct the publication. So for researchers, you can submit your request, and there will be a committee to review whether they grant or not grant you, approve or not approve. And once approved, then they will take the money from the deposit account. The other one is a partner discount, meaning organization will subscribe as a member, institution member, and automatically the researchers that affiliated with that institution will get a discounted APC. So as simple as that. Alright, just to wrap up, these are the benefit and advantage of having open access. Yeah. Any questions so far? Any burning questions? I may not be able to answer all your questions, but I promise if I don't have answer, I will write it down and I'll ask my expert. Now, today, just a little bit, yeah, okay. Wow.
Good question. Thank you for asking. Makes you curious to know why you're asking the question. I'll answer it and tell me why you're asking the question.
I got it. We have about 420,000 members worldwide, and I would say about 50% of 420,000 members worldwide, and I would say about 50% of them are volunteers. So not all members are volunteers, right? But 50% of them should be, that's a good number to work with. About 50% of the 420,000 members are most likely volunteers.
Yeah. I just want to add, today's session is just a very fast and quick introduction to, IEEE publishing solution. Yeah. This is not a full-scale authorship workshop. If a full-scale authorship workshop will take you probably the whole day, and you'll go through a lot of things for at least half a day. It will go through a lot of some technical stuff as well. And will not be conducted by myself. We have my colleague who is specialized in doing this. Yeah. So hope you can get some tips and tricks and a lot of free stuff, gratis. So you can take a look now, and it's useful for you. Yeah. Now I'll just give you just a sharing with you. A couple of weeks ago, I had a chat with my friend who is doing a PhD. She's doing a PhD, and she asked me, what is the best way to get published? What's the fastest? Actually, that's the question. And easiest way. So someone suggested her that why not you publish in lower quality journals? Yeah. So if in Scopus, maybe this is Q4. Yeah, very low, right? Q4 kind of top journals. Maybe not even have impact factors, or maybe young journals. Not say low quality, young journals that maybe only around for 1 year or 2 years. Now, my take on this is, okay, first of all, there's no right or wrong in saying that what's the best way. But my view on this is this: if you are your purpose is to publish it quick and you want quantity, that may be the best way to do. Yeah, quantity, talking about quantity, numbers. Yeah, talking about numbers. But in research community, they don't just look at quantity. They also look at what? Quality. You are right. Yeah, you may be familiar with H index, right? Yeah. So H index talking about quantity and quality metrics at the same time. So you can publish a lot of journals in a lot of publication in lower tier journals. You can publish a lot, but your H index will never go up. Why? Because maybe nobody will cite. You won't receive any citation because your journals is not feasible. Okay? So think about it, not just because research is a lifetime. It's not just for that quick. If you publish because you need to graduate from your PhD, yes, you just need 1 or 2 of you. That's all. But if research is become your career, it's a different ballgame. Yeah. So your very first step is very important, and to choose the right journals is also important. My suggestion, or not say advice, but my thought that I share with my friend is this. I say instead of you target and just look at the low level or lower quality journals, why not you collaborate with your professor? The professor who has already established, and you become a co-authors with them, right? Or professors, they also need a lot of research assistant, and they also want to collaborate with other people. That's also one way, yeah. Yeah, maybe then you have to do a lot of work lah. In that sense, you have to do a lot of maybe you do a lot of tests, or lab tests, for the paper. So something like that you can do. That's why using our IEEE collaborative text, that will give you a platform to talk to these people or to get advice. To get advice first, what should you do? Because every area of research or subject will be different from another. I'll give you another example. Impact factors, impact factors, right? How you calculate the impact factors. Now, for science and engineering, impact factors usually very high. So you see like 15, 20, in medical maybe 70, 100 also have. But in social sciences and humanities, impact factors is usually very low. 2, 3, maybe 1.5, 1.7. Anyone from social sciences here? Nobody? Okay. So, why is it so? Because for science, right, it's longer. The science is, been around for longer. Physics, chemistry have been for hundreds of years. Yeah, social science only recently been developed, so they have a shorter history. And impact factors is calculated by numbers of publication over period of time. Right? The longer the journal around, the more publication you have, then the higher the impact factors. So again, impact factor is not one factors to compare. So maybe 3 in social science and humanities is considered high already, but 3 in physics or in chemistry or in electrical engineering is low. So you need to see the context of it. Yeah, and of course, again, we talk about the H index for authors, researchers. That's also another important one. You can have 200 journal publication, but with 0 citation, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. So these are the few things that you need to think, read up a little bit, and ask for advice. One way is to use IEEE collaborative tag, where you can connect with this subject matter expert. All right. Any other questions? Yes. You mean the editorial process? Okay. There's no fixed time, like within 6 months, within 3 months. Individual journals will have their own timeline. But they will, if you go to any of the journal, you click on, say, I want to submit, right? They will tell you their timeline. Yeah, you need to follow their timeline. This is the editorial work. So example, they say that you need to submit, because, because journals, they have publishing plan. Yeah, some journals are published every month. Some journals twice a month. Some journals every quarter. So you need to know when you need to come. And they will tell you, they will share with you their publishing plan. Alright? So you need to go in, you need to adjust your time according to their publishing plan. But in general, I can say that, if you're talking about usually peer review will take the longest. Because it's, back and forth, right? So they send to the reviewers, review come back, that's one round already. That may take like maybe 1 to 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Yeah? Then after that, if you need to do correction, yeah, there's a second round. Then they'll send again and come back again. It could be like many rounds. So it's really depending on the journals. There's no fast and fixed rules here. Yeah? But important to know, again, go back to the journals, the scope, and then also the, the publication plan. you know, whether they are quarterly, monthly, or every week, or what is it? Yeah. Or sometimes, you know, they say, okay, they will have a special edition in every mid-year. So you may want to go into that special edition. That's another way. So you know your timeline. Any questions? Any other questions? Alright, looks like no other questions. We would like to thank everyone for your time to come today. And I hope, really again hope what we have shared today useful for you. Right? At least, you know, if you cannot remember anything, at least remember one thing, IEEE, you know, is here to support you, and there's a lot of gratis stuff up there. Just remember that you can access to it right now without having to pay for anything. Yeah? And, yeah, Barry, you want to, yeah? Okay. So, we pass this over to, who is the...
Alright guys, I think we're at the end of the day, so thank you very much for your attention and coming out to see us. We hope to see you again soon, and hopefully next year we'll be out here to teach you guys how to use e-learning and using it as a teaching tool in your university. And I look forward to seeing you guys real soon. Thank you very much.